soon for sports.
Keeping score with Jess and Dean, the dream.
It is Sunday, February 18th. I had to look at the calendar to make sure that was right. Good morning.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Not too bad.
I'm sad.
The pigskin's over?
No more football.
Listen,
Ugh.
as one of our guests way back in the day said, John Saranita said,
Yes.
It's pigskin 365. It's always football.
I know, but it's not like we can feature anything really besides, reviewing the Super Bowl today. That's pretty much it, unless there's like some other news story that we have to capture.
Listen, it could get a little challenging the next month or so. But
We always figure it out.
We've been there. Well, last year at this time, we were a little concerned. What are we going to do when football's over? But we got through it. We plugged through it. It's going to be a big year in free agency for the Patriots, so it's going to be interesting. Well,
it's a lot to talk about with them.
The draft.
Yeah. Well, I can't even get into that right now. I'm too upset that I won't have football to watch at Bobby's this week.
Brown hoodie and a beanie today?
Yeah, so my hair is dirty, and that's I was supposed to get a blowout, and then she wasn't feeling well, and so
Filth
I didn't have
City over
time.
here.
Yeah, so I put the beanie on, and you just don't know. It's an illusion.
So I know the last time, a few weeks ago, when you had Becca and Mike, and I believe there was mention of possible keeping score beanies. Is that something like the logo go right over the top of that? Oh, it's interesting. All right, keeping score beanies. All right.
You could just do a regular winter hat.
Okay.
I had to reorder more sweatshirts.
See, now it's definitely different than what I thought a beanie looked like, because I thought it was more like what Donnie Wahlberg wears as
are we talking
Danny
Blue
Reagan
Bloods?
in Blue Bloods, which premiered the other night, season 14, its final season. Just so you know, I'm a little disappointed. It's a truncated season because of the writers' strike.
That's your football.
Okay, so it is the final season for the Reagans. There's only going to be so many Sunday dinners at the Reagan house
Oh,
left.
jeez.
So.
I'm sorry for your loss. But there's multiple different beanies. But
okay.
Before we get into the big show, I want to call in producer Steve. Put him on camera right now because he does finally have an update for you. What mic is over there? Mic number 5? All right, so he does have an update, and I think Dean will be very thrilled with this news.
I hope so.
All right.
Finally got around to watching A Bronx Tale.
Well, you guys teased this a little bit before the show, and that's what I was kind of hoping for when you said I'd be happy. When you were doing your thing, you reported your bathroom visit before the show.
Steve, I have to stay here for an hour.
Steve said, you're going to like it. So, all right, tell me, give me something here, Steve. Talk to me.
Oh, I loved it. I thought it was great.
Really?
Dean, back up a little bit so the people can see you.
It's okay.
All right, anyway, go
They
ahead.
don't want to see me.
Okay.
No, I loved it. Great movie. Great
So now
time.
you'll get some of the lines when I say put him in the bathroom, and I don't want this face looking at this kid when he's rolling the
That was so funny.
Put him in the bathroom.
I'm like, who else is going to put a fourth guy in the bathroom?
Mushbet the horse, they start ripping up the tickets at Churchill Downs.
That was funny. They're all for it, and he's like, go Kryptonite. They're like,
No, that's it. Mush has got the horse. What about when little Colosimo loved the Yankees? And
Colosimo, that's right.
The whole thing, he made Mickey Mantle cry, and then Sonny goes, Mickey Mantle? Mickey Mantle makes $125,000 a year. What does your father make? I don't know. Is he going to care when you can't pay your bills?
Yeah.
And that's it. He said, I never cared about the Yankees again, he said. And he goes, and then he cut over from young Colosimo to grown up Colosimo.
Yeah.
He's like, the year was 1968. The Yankees were in last place, and I didn't care. And I'm being generous about that. I don't know if he said I didn't care, but
I think he said other stuff.
Yeah, but it was. I get goosebumps just thinking about
it.
it.
You do look like
him,
though. You look like him. I thought after I watched it, I'm like, oh, you know what? Yeah, I see it.
When that came out in '94, I think I was in my 6th year of college. I was at Rhode Island at Rec, and I was on campus.
He should have graduated twice before I even got there.
And I was on campus, and all the females would say to me, "Oh, you look like Colosimo from that movie that just came out." And I'm like, you never believe you look like someone, but I guess I could see it, tall. And I don't know if I didn't have a Jane in my life at the time, so I had someone in my life, and it wasn't Jane. But and there's there's anything wrong with that.
No.
I love it.
What about Sonny? Was there ever really a Jane?
Yeah. Oh, that whole part.
All right, I get it. This could be a whole show. I get it. Steve saw Bronx Tale and he loved it.
But
we
Steve,
get it.
we should also say that Steve was just like, it wasn't even his girlfriend came in the room. She was like, why is this not even full screen? Like, because it was a DVD.
For those of you watching, I didn't get a Blu-ray. I got a normal DVD from a back in the day kind of thing because that's all you had, I guess.
And it worked.
It worked. Oh yeah, but I put it on my Xbox, so it cropped it.
Yeah.
To make it fit the screen properly, so it didn't distort the image. My girlfriend came home from work. I'm halfway through it. She's like, oh, what's this? And I'm telling her, and she's looking at it. She's like, why is it in a box on the screen? I'm like, because it's not a Blu-ray. So if they stretch it to fit full screen, you ain't going to be able to tell what's going on.
Right.
And I will leave you with one more note from the movie before we move on to the actual show, as Jess is already looking at the clock. When Sonny says nobody cares. So it's like nobody cares. It's just a quote, meaning like nobody cares. But then at the end, when everyone showed up for Sonny's funeral, he found out that people did care.
Yeah.
And of course, De Niro played the bus driver, his father. People did care.
I really loved it. It was I loved it.
So I nailed it.
You nailed it.
I gave you a winner, huh?
You gave me a good movie. Absolutely.
Put him in the bathroom. Gigi, stop breathing on me, will you? Sonny, I want to play too.
All right, we can do this all day.
I don't want that kid. I don't want him looking at the kid when he rolls.
I don't want that face looking at that kid when he's rolling the dice.
Oh my God. So that's our review of a 1994 film, A Bronx Tale. Thank you for
one of the great classics.
There's no doubt about it.
I mean, we got to do something about your name. You're C now. You're C. That's what he said.
Nobody knew his name.
And by the way, another nugget. His mother in that, which was obviously De Niro's wife, was played by Catherine Narducci. She was Adi Bucco's wife in The Sopranos.
Oh, okay.
She plays Charmaine in the.
Yeah, Steve's shaking his head. He knew that. He knew that one. Yeah,
she's strong too.
Yeah,
she's strong. I like her. Charmaine's strong.
Sure.
I don't know about now,
I'm gonna get a clip of she lost a little bit on her fastball. All right, so we're gonna actually get to the show now. I don't know. We might have. I knew we were gonna run out of time. All right, so let's just get. Anything else you want to say?
Yeah, I feel like my angle's a little different on YouTube this week. I'm kind of looking into the camera. Am I like lefty, righty? Did something change from last week? I don't know. I'm just trying to be like perceptive and show that like I'm not a technical guy. That I'm looking at I feel like I'm different.
Wanted room.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Look, you wanted room for Steve, so we could fit him in the. All right, Jesus. Let's just. We're just going to the show.
Purdy back. Purdy throws and is caught by Juwan Jennings. Breaks a tackle. Touchdown! San Francisco!
That's 6 seconds to go. Butker's kick is perfect. This game is tied at 19-19. Chiefs will throw it on 3rd and 1. Mahomes is going to run at 30-yard line. 25-20. Mahomes inside the 15 and down to the 13-yard line. Shades of Super Bowl 57 when he ran down the field in pain. First down and goal to go. Play action fake. Right side throw. Touchdown! Kansas City. McCole Hardman with the catch on the right side. A 3-yard touchdown pass in overtime. Kansas City wins the game 25-22. And the Chiefs Kingdom has started its own history class.
So mad I didn't have 5 or 2 in my square.
Oh, numbers.
All right, so what did you think about the Super Bowl? I mean, we kind of called it, which, I mean, we had to lose 3 games in order to actually believe in the Chiefs, but then we did, and they got it done.
Yeah, I just feel like, if he was down 3, he was going to get 4 or 7. If he was down 4, he was going to get. He's just always going to be one up on you. As long as you got the quarterback and the coach, I feel like they were the X factor in that game, and they've done it for a while now.
Right.
It's a dynasty, and of course on the other side for Shanahan, just continues to come up short in big moments. It seems like he knows X's and O's. He's very innovative. A lot of great calls with the offensive plays. You saw that little pass from Jennings to McCaffrey, from Purdy to Jennings to it was great.
Yeah.
I love that, but it seems like late in the game he seems to wilter and just can't get over the hump and can't get it done. It's very, very disappointing if you're in San Francisco Nation, but of course as long as you got Patrick Mahomes, I think Purdy played a good game, but not a great game. He's a good quarterback, not a great quarterback, and maybe it's just because you're looking at the guy on the other sideline and it just makes him look so small and so average, so pedestrian.
Right. We actually have a clip of Mahomes talking about Andy Reid.
I mean, he's one of the best coaches of all time. I believe he's the best coach of all time. I mean, I know he doesn't have the trophies yet, and I have a lot of respect for some of those great coaches. But the way he's able to navigate every single team he has, continue to have success no matter where he's at. And for me, he brings out the best in me because he lets me be me. I think that's important, is he doesn't try to make me anyone else. I don't think I'd be the quarterback that I am if I didn't have Coach Reid being my head coach. Other than that, he wants you to be the best person you can be, and that's something that I think is truly special.
It truly is. Anyway, but I can't make fun of him because he brought it. Like, and
He's
he knew
amazing.
He really is.
It's shame on San Fran coming out of the half. It was 10-3. He throws a pick, a rare mistake. He overthrew Kelsey,
And they don't
capitalize
from it.
at 3 and out. And there was, from there it looked like it was. And of course that tough special teams play where the ball hit the special teams, the gunner's foot, and for San Fran, and the kick returner couldn't pick it up, and that kind of changed things because Kansas City wasn't doing anything.
No, I know.
And of course, the next play he throws a touchdown to Scantlin, who can't catch the ball if he was alone, but he catches a touchdown. He's terrible. He ran backwards in overtime, cost him like 10 yards, and then he went right back to him and he caught a ball. It was a mixed bag. I guess the moral of the story is I'm trying to tell you, as special as Patrick Mahomes is, he's even more special because other
he had
than
nothing
Kelsey,
to work with.
he's throwing to swill. That team is like McCole Hardeman, game-winning touchdown.
Who is he?
If you watched Hard Knocks, he was with the Jets, and they got him back. He was a Chief for a few years. They got rid of him.
Yeah.
They let him walk in free agency. He went to the Jets. The Jets didn't work out. They traded him to get him back, and of course, 3 catches in the Super Bowl for 57 yards in the game winner. He fits in the system, but it looks like Mahomes can get it done with smoke and mirrors. He knows how to run when it's 4th and 1. He knows how to tuck it in. He never does the Brady kind of like run, like kind of like
direct shot.
No, he never like gets right up on the line and just like Brady always used to get 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Mahomes just lets you know he goes in shotgun and lets you know he's going to run it, and you still can't stop him.
I know.
It's pretty special. I had a question for you all week, and I have to ask you this.
Okay, what?
And it's totally hypothetical because obviously Kansas City won. But at one point, I was, you have visuals of, you visualize what's going to happen. You have permutations of what may happen as far as the end of the game and who's going to win. And I'm saying at one point, I believe it was going to be Kansas City.
Yeah.
And then I also believe there was, it was a time where it could have went either way. So I'm looking at the San Francisco end of it.
Yeah.
My question to you is, if they had won, and say like there was nothing spectacular, say San Fran won the game, but there was nothing spectacular at the end. Say the kid Moody bangs a field goal to win it, and they win 19-16 or 22-19.
Which they wouldn't have even been in that situation if you got the extra point.
The block punt and all, block kick, extra point.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question. Who would have been your MVP of the game? Assuming that nothing spectacular would have happened on the last play. I know this is kind of an odd thing to ask you, but just think about how the game was going and tell me who your MVP would have been in the game.
I guess it would have to be McCaffrey, I think.
Okay, well, obviously, I was going to
He's
interrupt
Offensive Player of the Year.
That has nothing to do with it, and I don't care what he did all year.
I understand, but
you.
he got a touchdown.
He did?
Yeah.
So my point is I wanted to give you your length there and not interrupt you, but obviously you took long to a point where at that point, what did I tell you last week when you asked me about MVP when we were doing the prop thing? I said they can't wait to give it to a quarterback.
Right.
So the bottom line is you took too long to even answer the question. I guess what I'm saying is that it's an indictment on Purdy, not that he's a bad quarterback.
Right.
But if you're not even saying you're going to give the MVP to the quarterback, that tells you the quarterback comes up a little bit short.
Mm-hmm.
So you're thinking McCaffrey. At that moment, you want to know who I was thinking?
Who?
Jawan Jennings, because he caught a touchdown and he threw one.
Oh, true.
So at that moment, I'm thinking as the game's going on, I'm like, all right, who's my MVP if this game ends this way? It's never happened before.
Right.
So he threw one, he caught one. So that's big, you know? And, of course, McCaffrey with 30 touches in the game. He did catch a touchdown, but I thought Kansas City and Spagnuolo, who just got an extension, 3
that
Super Bowls in 5 years,
good.
had one with the Giants, too, versus the Pats. So he's won 4 Super Bowls.
Yeah,
he got an extension with Kansas City, well-deserved. But so I just wanted to talk about that a little bit because I was thinking of, as the game was going on, obviously it's a moot point after Mahomes took it to the house, threw it to McCole Hardeman for the game winner. It's just what a great second half. Maybe not the best top
first half.
From start to finish Super Bowl, but that's part of football. You're methodical and you play the defense, you play the field position, and it looked like San Francisco was doing a great job with that until that muffed punt in the third quarter, and Kansas City made the play on special teams. That was huge.
And why doesn't anyone know about overtime rules? I didn't understand that. Like San Francisco had no idea, and I think that even if the Chiefs won the toss, they were still going to give them the ball first, and then they decided to take the ball.
I mean, I probably shouldn't admit this on Keeping Score here, 8 to 9 on Sunday mornings, but I didn't know either. Okay,
Really?
I wasn't sure about the new. I wasn't sure, but you know what? I didn't play in the game either. So when the 49ers come out all week and you got players,
Steve,
oh,
Steve wasn't playing in the game.
but when it comes
This
out
is
to
breaking
when
news.
When it comes out, well, what I'm trying to say is like whether I knew or I didn't know, I wasn't a factor. The players
True.
should know, okay?
Yes, of
especially when your fullback Kyle Juszczyk, he went to Harvard and he didn't know the rule, okay? So when your fullback who's like
most points wins,
who can break it down, and he's an Ivy Leaguer, it said he didn't know the rule. That's a little perplexing. I don't think it factored in how the game played out. I just think it's a little bit concerning when it's an indictment on the head coach.
Yeah.
And I think he's a great X's and O's guy, but I think late late in games, he just can't get it done. It's tough to watch late in the game. You saw it with the Atlanta Super Bowl. He gift wrapped the Patriots one. He wasn't a head coach there, but he was the offensive coordinator. Yeah, all they had to do was kick a field goal there, and Brady can't come back. He can't get 2 scores in 2 minutes. So they went backwards in that game. Thank God. And then of course he came up short, up 10 against Kansas City 3 years ago. Yep. And then once again. A game that they're up 10-0. It looked like they could have put finger on the throat, and they couldn't do it. And that I told you, Butker, we got a field goal late in the first half. Yeah. He made it 10-3, gave them life, and then the second half it was Kansas City.
And I just think what the combination, like Purdy. I get what you're saying. Like
he's good.
But he is good.
He's good.
It's just like, but anybody going against Patrick Mahomes is
you look ordinary,
right?
Yeah. But there was some on third. Jess, on third down, there was some throws that I'm not saying he missed guys like wide open, but he was 3 for 12 on third down.
Yeah,
you have to be better than that.
I know.
Some balls got batted down. I just thought there was more that they could have done there. In the first half, I told you some of the players to watch out for. Chase Young was great on defense. He was getting pressure on Mahomes. He forced I think he helped force that fumble by Pacheco early in the game. Bosa was great on his side. Of course, unfortunately, the Dre Greenlaw injury was sad and unfortunate.
What in the world? This is why I get nervous.
ACL injuries are usually unforced. You're not even near anybody when it happens. That was kind of
jumped.
That was kind of
so scary.
That was kind of scary. One other note. I mean, I talked to a lot of people, San Francisco people that are disappointed, or people that didn't want to see Kansas City win another one. They was telling me all week, it's like, well, how do you not give McCaffrey the ball late in the game? I said, the kid had 30 touches. What do you give him? 40? Yeah, 40. Yeah, give him 40. It's the Super Bowl. I do get that, but I mean, it's not like they didn't use him all. I mean,
he was getting like right to the line of scrimmage. Most of them, they were like stuffing him.
Thank you. So my point is, early in the game, he busted a couple. He scored the touchdown on the backfield on the flea flick or throw, whatever it was. Right. And I thought after that, Kansas City's defense was great. Chris Jones and those guys on the line were terrific, coming up and making plays. And basically, obviously 22 carries for 80 yards. It was hard running. He only averaged like 3.6 yards a carry. So give the Chiefs a lot of credit. I mean, how many times can you give the guy the ball? Right. Purdy needed to make another play somewhere, and it just comes down to 1 or 2 plays sometimes.
And forgive me, was Debo out? Did he get hurt?
No, he played. Kittle came out for a while and then went back in. Kittle did nothing.
But Debo did nothing.
He was pedestrian in the game. Yeah, he didn't break one. I mean, listen, give Kansas City a lot of credit.
Yeah.
They played it. That kid Bolton, one of their defensive players, had 13 tackles in the game. I think it was Nick Bolton. Terrific game. Chris Jones, they got to find the way to find the money for Bolton and Snead. Snead's terrific too. I featured him. He had a couple of tough plays. I think he had a penalty on it that resulted in a first down, and I think he even got beat on a touchdown too. But he's been a great player for them. Kansas City deserves it. You got to give them credit. And as long as you got Mahomes, this tells you right here when we start talking about the Patriots and that third pick in the draft, you go quarterback and you pray that the next Mahomes is there. San Francisco did it with Lance a couple of years ago, bust. But you have to take a quarterback at 3. You just there isn't probably going to be another Mahomes, but if you get a version of him, you're going to face this guy for the next 10 years in the AFC. You need a quarterback.
Do you think Patrick Mahomes' success is also helped by the fact that before him was, Alex Smith?
Yeah.
And so the Chiefs were decent. They were always a pretty decent team.
They were good, yeah.
Tom Brady had a team that was not that great. The point is, Patrick Mahomes walked into a situation where I think he had more weapons around him. I think it was a nice little cushy spot where I think Tom Brady, he went into the team with, and there wasn't those superstars. He made them superstars. So it's almost like Tom Brady, if they want to talk about the debate between both of them, Tom had to build a team and Mahomes walked into a team.
But Brady didn't have to be on the field as much either because he had a phenomenal defense. That defense was already built up there from when they had Parcells and Carroll. You had the Brewskis, you had Law, you had Vrabel, you had Roman Pfeiffer. I could go on all day. They had players everywhere on defense. Otis Smith, before he retired, they had a ton of players on defense. And then, of course, Brady, it didn't have to do so much. I think he managed those first 3 Super Bowls and, of course, was the stud on the last 3. It was all Brady. But I think in the early days, and now you look at Mahomes, all right, he won a Super Bowl with Tyreek Hill, who's an elite receiver. If you're paying the quarterback $50 million, you can't pay the wide receiver $30. He goes to Miami and he wins 2 more Super Bowls without him throwing to, I don't know who he's throwing the ball to. I mean, the kid Rice was arguing with him on the sideline. He was mad because he wanted the ball more.
Well, I'm talking about arguing. What about Kelsey going after Andy Reid?
Kelsey rolled the walrus.
The guy has have a new hip? Like, he's just like, that was... That was
He
something
wanted
else.
to be in on that play, but I think that was a play where it was a blocking play,
Yeah.
and Kelsey's not the best blocker. So I
Okay.
think he had the backup tight end in there for that reason, and I think Kelsey regrets it a little bit, but they both announced that they will be coming back next year and in quest of that three-peat, which I believe at this point I will never pick against them again. Even though I did pick them in the Super Bowl, I picked against them all year because they were just ordinary.
Yeah, exactly. Do we have anything else that we want to talk about in the Super Bowl, or do we want to I mean, by the way, Usher was amazing.
He's terrific.
That Super Bowl halftime show was awesome.
And I think last week I asked you because I didn't know, because I'm more between the lines, you're more outside the lines. And I said, who's any guest stars? You said, well, there'll probably be somebody we don't know.
Yeah.
And it was Alicia Keys. She was terrific, along with Ludacris, who I like.
Yeah.
Christopher Bridges.
Yeah.
And,
very good.
And was it Lil Jon?
Lil Jon.
Lil Jon?
Yep.
Solid,
And then they
solid.
even had her. She was the one that was playing the guitar, so she's pretty popular as well. So he had some special guests. He asked Justin Bieber, and Justin Bieber said no.
Oh.
I know.
Oh, wow.
He's like, I guess he just wasn't into it.
I'm a huge Usher fan. As I saw a picture of you and him on Instagram from a few years back.
Keeping score with Jess and Dean.
You had a few inches on him, but he's
Safe to say.
He's a special performer. And I'm tired of all these negative people out there that said it was lousy, he was on skates, or rollers. Who cares?
So what?
He's terrific.
Yeah.
And I have to ask you a question. I didn't catch it. I did see it, but maybe I missed it. Everybody was making a big deal about the whole, was he inappropriate with Alicia Keys? He hugged her from behind. Is that,
No.
did he do anything
I had
wrong?
no problem with it.
Okay.
And they've been friends forever.
All right.
Yeah.
So I'm asking because I'm just like, I didn't see anything that was so leading. Or
No,
so
it wasn't like he ripped off her
provoking.
top and a
Right.
nipple was exposed. So, I mean, I thought it was very reserved. I thought it was fine. I thought everything was great. That was, to me, because I was very bored in the first half.
Yeah.
And we were at FanDuel at Mohegan Sun. And long story short, there was a lot of drunk people. One guy fell off his chair. So we were just like, we're out. We're out for the second half. So we took it elsewhere. But that super, like, it just gets you. It was awesome at the end when they're all jumping on stage, and they ended with if you bet on that one to wrap everything up, you won some money on that too. So
So did you bet like prop bets? Did you bet the game, or did you
No.
you were at Mohegan? Did you gamble like play
There's the lines
blackjack,
were like,
roulette? What'd you do?
I don't want to talk about it. I want to. I wanted to play roulette. And I went to a table, so we stayed on Sunday, so it was Monday morning. And I'm just like, all right, well, let's do silly slots like Wizard of Oz. And I don't get slots. Like, we hit it once, and I'm like, oh, I guess we're done. So I always do roulette. There was only 2 tables open because it was Monday.
Yeah.
One table, I couldn't even see where the numbers were. 4 guys, all the chips. The entire thing was all chips. And they were like standing, like they were just taking over the entire
aggressive
like,
here.
over the entire tip. I'm like,
Chicks in the screen if you're
and
watching on YouTube right now.
And to me, I'm like, I'm going to put in my $25 when they are literally thousands of dollars on the table. And so one guy lost, and I don't know how he did because he literally had a chip on every single number. He went to the next table, and he like took over that whole thing. I'm like, who has this kind of money that you're dropping thousands of dollars and you're losing?
Yeah, and they don't care either.
No, they were just like, one guy was checking his bank account. He's like, all right, I'm going to play again. I'm like, I'm not at that level. So I walked away.
I respect that.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I know what you did because when you on the way home, you still had enough cheddar to hit the Trattoria on the way home.
Well, yeah, that's
you
our
hit
Monday.
the Antonio's.
That's our Monday thing.
spot. I caught wind of that one too. How was that experience?
It was wonderful. I was talking to Meredith, Christian, obviously Paul. He can't find his keeping score hoodie. He may have to purchase another one.
Yeah, that's lame. He's on his own there. I'm sorry if you're that sloppy. Find it. I mean, I'm not saying
we're going to do a buy one get one.
Well, because you're notorious for like giveaways live on the air. Okay, we're trying to make a living over here. But no, he said he thinks it may be in his son's room or something. His wife didn't know what it was and maybe put it. So
maybe.
he said it's somewhere. But he looks good with the new haircut. He looks a
he
little
does.
slimmed
He
down.
looks
It makes him
very
look a little younger.
handsome. I was concerned that you weren't going to watch the Super Bowl because you were drinking all day and all your activities at Topgolf and.
It was a good time, but I was on the couch by 5. I'm not going to lie to you. I crashed and then woke up and did miss a little bit of the beginning of the game because I was sleeping.
Really?
So I was tired, but I had a couple of pops each place we went. It was very nice. We had 3 stops: Lang's Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
We did the Bowes Billiard, and of course started with Topgolf. It was fun. It was a good day, but I was tired.
It's not
he's
my thing. He's gonna fall asleep.
And then Paul called me the next day with that big winter storm that we got hit with. I mean, it was bad, but it wasn't that bad.
Very heavy.
But he got out in front of it and asked me to do the switcheroo. So obviously I lucked out because I got to work, even though I didn't want to go in during the snowstorm. I have rules, okay?
Okay.
I say, well, like Newman says, I don't deliver the mail in the rain.
Yep.
Well, I don't drive in the snow. Okay, so I'm just oops. So I'm just telling you, Steve, and everybody else that I don't drive when it's like inclement weather conditions like that. I
Yes,
won't drive.
'cause, yeah, I know.
So
You
I
need to be
told-
sunny and sunny.
So Paul asked me to do the switcheroo, and I said, yeah, but just so you know, you might have to either pick me up or take me back. I'm not driving.
Yeah.
So lucky he got out of that. My brother drove me to work, and Stefan in the kitchen drove me home.
Okay.
I called Paul at 10 o'clock to tell him I was all set, and he didn't answer. So obviously, thank God I got a ride home, or I would have been stuck. I wake up the next morning, 4 in the morning. He goes, oh, was I supposed to pick you up? I'm like, yeah, thanks. I appreciate that. But we did the switcheroo, so I worked Tuesday during the storm.
Yep.
Ended up crushing it because all the Twin Oaks was closed. All the Audie, Brian, they all came in.
Oh, good.
So I had everyone at the bar. It was slammed all night. We closed at 7 because of the weather. It was starting to get black ice. And then I didn't have to work Valentine's the next day because me and Paul switched. So I didn't have to say Happy Valentine's till like 70 deuces coming in, pretending that I care about that day.
Did you say deuces?
Deuces, like
Okay.
deuces. And
I just wanted to clarify it wasn't another word.
Nobody's dropping anything. I'm talking about like deuces, meaning like parties at 2. So
Okay.
it's all
Yes.
2s on Valentine's. So
Yes.
it's very repetitive. You have to say, "Oh, Happy Valentine's Day,"
Yeah.
when it's not sincere on my part because I'm not a phony, but on that day I have to sort of be a phony.
Yeah. You
so.
give roses to everybody. We didn't even talk about your Valentine's. We didn't even talk about that. All right. Well, listen. If we gotta admit, let's thank our sponsors because we're 25 minutes in. We're gonna thank our sponsors. We're gonna talk a little bit of Patriots because I know you have OC, interests or thoughts, and then we'll come right back.
Keeping score with Jess and Dean the Dream, sponsored by
Generations Adult Day Health Center. Generations is a day facility in Smithfield that provides services to meet the needs of adults with disabilities and the elderly. Their staff provides a range of adult day health services, such as case management, nursing, healthcare, nutrition, and more. At Generations, you're taken care of with registered nurses, certified nursing assistants, and plenty of direct care support staff on the floors at all times. With nearly 30,000 square feet of space, the state-of-the-art facility includes an open dining room, spacious physical and occupational therapy suites, a fully equipped gym and exercise room, and a TV movie theater, just to name a few. To find out more, visit generationsri.com. That's generationsri.com. Prout Mechanical in Providence, a family-owned and operated business. They provide HVAC installations, replacements, and maintenance services. They also offer indoor quality services to make sure that your home remains healthy and safe. They have licensed and trained technicians to keep up with industry standards and technology. They're also an authorized Mitsubishi Electric Diamond Elite contractor, so they can provide the best heating and cooling solutions. So get in touch with them today. Visit ProutHVAC.com. That's ProutHVAC.com, or call them at 487-4343 for a free estimate. It's the hidden gem in the historic district of East Greenwich, the Oaks Tavern on Duke Street, a laid-back, welcoming atmosphere with some of the lowest drink prices in town. Described as a grade A dive bar, complete with free pool, a jukebox, air hockey, and a great place to meet after work. It's a place where the staff treats everyone like regulars, and regulars treat you like family. Visit the last hometown tavern in East Greenwich. Check out the Oaks Tavern, serving cold beer since 1896.
I think a good coordinator does what's best for his players. I think a lot of guys will have scheme that they understand and they have familiarity with as coordinators. But if it doesn't fit the player, then how good's the scheme really? So a good coordinator will often take the strengths of the players that he has, play to their strengths, while at the same time being able to protect them from their weaknesses. You know, I think running the football in this league wins games, wins championships, being able to do that late into the season.
On his feet into the end zone. Touchdown, Patriots.
Quarterback play is a big part of what I believe in, putting him in a position to be successful. And, you know, if you can make that guy be successful, oftentimes your offense is successful. Teams that are close and that are connected, connected's a big word that I'll use, the connectivity, those teams always play better. Getting to know these guys, getting to love these guys as players and people, I think will all make us better in the long run.
That's our new OC coordinator, right? The coach?
What? Okay.
Offensive coordinator, no?
While we were listening to that sound, we had a little chuckle.
Yeah, you didn't even hear any of it because...
No, I know. The funny part was you nailed it, of course, because you always find the sound. And what was bothering me all week was in that sound, okay? In that clip where he says, running the football wins games, not only wins games, wins championships. I don't know what league he's been watching. He's 53 years old. He's been around for a while. I remember when he was an average, below average quarterback back in the day. I know it sounds like he's a really good guy, and he is committed to this gig, and I hope he does a nice job. But if that's his philosophy, that running the football is going to win championships, the only guy that's excited to hear that is Ramondre Stevenson. Okay, on a contract here,
all right.
because this does not give us any excitement to think that it's going to be 3 grunts and a punt.
Right.
If that's what you think you're going to do to win, you're not going to win many football games. So if he thinks he's going to win championships, he's delusional. But and I always want to say, this guy says, I know you usually come out of the gates, Kim English.
Yeah.
Saying all the right things. I don't know. I don't know what I heard there. And wow, we're going to wait. We're going to wait and see here. Does that mean they're going to draft an offensive tackle at 3? How are you going to feel about that? I know it's not sexy.
I'm going to feel lousy. I want to see some flair. I want to get excited. I don't want to be like we haven't been able to pick anybody ever this, because we're so terrible.
Before we move on and get off football, Jess, we are going to talk about the draft as it gets closer and talk about, where the Patriots, may go with that 3rd pick. And I've told you, I'm a Drake May guy.
Yes.
Because I believe Caleb Williams will go 1. He is the consensus number 1 pick. He's that good. They're saying he's a can't miss, even though I don't like all the baggage around him, the off-the-field stuff. But I'll tell you one thing. I was high on the kid Jaden Daniels. Won the Heisman this year at LSU. Played for Brian Kelly, who coached at Notre Dame. But I'll tell you one thing. Go look at some footage. Google it. He is so thin. I worry about him. I don't think he's tough enough.
Is he Wembanyama thin?
Not
that tall, obviously.
He's right, but he's a shorter version. But he's there's no bulk to him. And I start thinking about I keep thinking about Bryce Young at coming out of the draft from Alabama last year to go to Carolina, and I thought he was small.
Yeah,
I thought he was small. This kid's not small; he's tall enough.
Right.
So I like that. He's got the height, but his body. I mean, they'd have to give him a bridge year. I don't think you could just pick him at 3 and play him next year. He's got to be.
Really?
Yeah, you just McDonald's, Burger King. They got to get him Whoppers.
So he has a heart attack instead.
No, Jess. I mean, when you see, next week you're gonna see. Oh God, you're right about this. Jaden Daniels. He is thin.
Can I look?
I'm talking about like paper thin, and I believe at that position, Jess. If he's got the ability to get out of the pocket and make plays with his legs, he's gonna get killed out there. He's wiry, but he's thin.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he had a monster year. He won the Heisman. We're going to see how it all plays out. Drake May, 6'4", 230. I like that, that strong guy. And he's got some athleticism also. He can throw the deep ball. But
who would you compare him to that's currently playing as a quarterback? Josh Allen? Like, who would you compare him to? Josh Allen is pretty big. He can run.
Maybe a little bit. I don't think May's he can do it with his legs, but not like Allen. I don't think he can get out of the pocket and run like that. I just think he has the ability. He's more athletic than, say, when we had a Drew Bledsoe. That's not saying much, but he doesn't have 2 left feet. He can move. His footwork's pretty good. But I wouldn't see him as a runner. I look at him as maybe like. I mean, I'm going back a little bit. Maybe like a Roethlisberger. I know I'm not talking about the current game today. I don't want to talk about like quarterbacks right now because it's slim pickings on what's in the league right now.
Yeah.
But I'm going back to some of the greats. I'm trying to, equate him to somebody. Maybe a Brett Favre.
Okay.
He's got the arm. You know what I mean? He's got
Steals a bunch of money from people. Yeah, it's good.
Impressive. But no,
Ben Roethlisberger rapes people.
So far, I'm a May guy, and of course, I had told you recently that I was starting to, I like Daniels. Now, if they decide to go another position with Marvin Harrison Jr. At 3, and then go quarterback at 34,
so someone can throw him the ball. Yes.
Then maybe Michael Penix Jr. because he's not going to go that high. He would go in the 2nd round. The kid out of Washington who had a tough game against Michigan in the college final, but lefty, 24 years old, ready to play, but 2 ACLs and 2 shoulder injuries. That's a tough one also. Yeah, but he's accurate. He can throw a good ball. You play him right away though.
Yeah, but he's going to be in a wheelchair.
Right, but you play him right away. He's not a project. Jaden Daniels, I can't see him playing for anybody next year at 3. He's really, really thin. He reminds me body-wise of the kid Tyquan Thornton, 2nd round pick that we got out of Baylor, who he played 5 games in 2 years?
Yeah.
And you're running sweeps with him and end arounds. I mean, he couldn't do anything. So it's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out. But I know talent-wise, he has moved up the board. Daniels, on a lot of experts' boards, has passed Drake May. So they believe he's ahead of May right now. So we're going to see how it all plays out.
Well, that'll be something to look forward to. But I think at this time, we're good to wrap up football. And once again, I thought we weren't going to be able to have anything to
We
talk.
always do it.
33 minutes in, we got to talk Celtics. Let's do that now.
Cam Johnson drives. Cornette not only blocked the shot, he gobbled it up at the same time.
Numbers.
Derek White leads the 5-on-4. The open man is Pritchard. He rocks that 3.
Not a lot you can do about that.
Peyton Pritchard, he's the kind of nights that he has big games. He's got 10 in the first half, 63-29. Nets are going to have to inbound it. They do, and it is over. A dominant performance in a dominant stretch in a dominant year for the NBA's best team. And more history made. The Celtics hit the All-Star break at full speed. They blast the Brooklyn Nets tonight by a final of 136-86.
They have the best record in basketball right now. Talking about the Celtics, do you think we're too hard on them? Because, like, I feel like when they lose, we're like, you're never going to win anything. And then...
We are. 43-12. It's tough to be disappointed. 6 straight wins going into the All-Star break. And, of course, 2 versus the Brooklyn Nets on Tuesday and Wednesday. They're not good. They're not good. You don't beat anybody by 50, and they were up 50 the whole game.
I know.
Usually the Celtics, you put the second string is, and by the way, Peyton Pritchard can circle that night, Wednesday night, in that 50-point blowout. I don't think there's going to be many times in his career where he leads the Celtics in scoring. He had 28 off the bench in that game because Jaylen Brown didn't play. He's resting up for the dunk contest that was on Saturday night. But the Celtics have played good ball. And, of course, you mentioned it off here. Joe Mazzulla's 100th win during the course of that little streak that they had. So
actually, I have a clip of Mazzulla talking about it. You want to hear that?
Yes.
I told the guys, I think it's something to be proud of, something to be grateful for. And it's just a testament to the people that you have around you. And so I think in a business of where individual success is highly talked about on a nightly basis, like the box scores and stuff like that, to have a group of people that you can share in your success with is important. And so can't get to this point, and it really starts with the players. And I always tell them I can't be who I am if they don't let me, and I appreciate that. And that's a gift in coaching. You can always be in a situation to where you don't have empowerment or you don't have guys that allow you to be yourself, and it's an important gift that the players give me, and they give it to each other. And I think that's important for us to continue to grow in. So I'm grateful for that.
So, I thought that was well played on his part. Sometimes I think he's an idiot, and sometimes I'm like, all right, he's not that bad.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I have a love-hate relationship with him at this point. Sorry.
No, it's okay.
No, at least it's not like, I'm all in.
I'm glad we have a love-love relationship.
Oh, easy. That's not even.
Although I've had
not
some
even a
people
question.
critique and say that there should be, they want to see more, not hate, they want to see more negativity.
Oh.
You see some stations, they go on 4 hours and just talk about negativity. We don't, that's not what we do here.
Why
that's
would
not
you,
a way to live.
The world is negative enough.
I think we lay the hammer down when we have to lay the hammer down.
I'll trash ticket gains later today.
And I agree with you that, 43-12, we are a little tough on this team. They've had a hell of a first half. And Jess, I know everything's Vegas now and everything's got odds. I never saw this growing up about odds on the MVP race. But the way the Celtics are playing right now, 6 straight wins, 43-12, the best record in the NBA. Look for Jason Tatum to stop moving up that MVP ladder as far as, because usually MVP, that doesn't have to go to the guy on the best team, but, if you're the best player on the best team, and I'm not saying he's the best player in the league, but he's top 5 or 10.
Yeah.
Luka's team's down there a little bit. Joker, they've been up and down. So I'm just saying, if they keep getting, a second half, if he's still hot, I think it's going to be a little stretch. You're going to see him. You're going to start hearing some MVP chatter for him. Obviously, with Embiid's injury, that precludes him from getting it. He's averaging 35 a game this year, so you can write him off. You have to play a certain amount of games to be eligible for it.
That makes sense. Yeah, you can't just play one game and score 70 and be like, you're the MVP.
I think it's 65 is the cutoff now. If you don't play 65 games, you can't get the award. So obviously, it's going to be interesting to see in the second half after All-Star weekend. Of course, the All-Star games tonight. They're just going to be throwing balls off backboards. But we talked about this last year, and it was not a pretty.
It was walk, throw, walk. By
the way, something I got busy this week, and I didn't Google or I didn't do enough research on it to figure out how. And I could have sworn something went across the thing that Doc Rivers and the Milwaukee Bucks staff is coaching the All-Star game tonight. Why isn't it? Obviously, it's either the team that won it last year or the team with the best record at the break, which would be the Celtics.
Mazzulla,
and who was in the finals last year would be the Heat. So why isn't supposed to I don't care that it's not Mazzulla. I don't care.
Yeah.
But why is it Doc Rivers? First of all, you just
because he's a name.
You just got there, and I don't know. Milwaukee's 35-21. All of a sudden, they're in third behind Cleveland in the East now, and they're 3-7 under Doc Rivers. They lost to Memphis the last game before the All-Star break. A brutal loss to a team that's got injuries across the board with guys on 2-way contracts, guys out of the G League. I don't know what Milwaukee's doing over there.
So the reason he's there is because Giannis didn't like the coach before him, the coach that
that's my
they
assumption.
were winning with.
That's my assumption. I just don't see why else you would blow it up at 33-13 at the time. I think the interim coach went 0-2 or 1-1, so that's why Doc is 3-7. And Milwaukee is just, I don't see that defense. They lost, they got blown out at home a couple of games. They brought Patrick Beverly in to help out, but I just don't see the pieces there. Chris Middleton's a shell of what he used to be. Giannis has been terrific. He was great in the Memphis game the other night, but they couldn't win on the road at Memphis, a team that season is in the tank without Morant. Marcus Smart hasn't been playing. Desmond Bain's out. Jaron Jackson
I like that you
Jr.
put Marcus Smart as one of the top players, though.
Well, I mean, that's, he gives you a little edge. If he's on
Yeah.
the sideline in civvies, he's not helping anybody.
Well, he's probably coaching.
They've literally barely had enough of a team they've been calling guys up and I'm happy for one former Celtic, Lamar Stevens. He was one of the bench players for the Celtics. He was in that deal for Xavier Tillman, who came over to the Celtics. You haven't seen X-Man play yet. I told you, Tillman came over in that trade, along with Jaden Springer came from Philly. Both guys are banged up right now. So, they're pieces for down the stretch. They're not playing right now. But Lamar Stevens got a chance to play, and I saw him play in that Milwaukee game, giving the Grizzlies some good minutes. So it's an opportunity for a young player that wouldn't have got rotation minutes for the Celtics, a team trying to win an NBA title.
You're saying Giannis is playing amazing. The team's not winning. Do you think he's like, all right, well, I got a new coach and it's not working out. Do you think he get traded, asked to be traded, or do you think they have too much invested in him?
Yeah, I think the contract's the contract. Wherever that lies or wherever that ends up, he maybe doesn't sign another extension with them and he moves on at some point. But he's there for a while. Can't just keep flipping coaches. Doc's there now.
Right.
Doc just got a $40 million extension when they signed him.
What?
And they're paying 2 other coaches. Buttonholtz is still on his couch.
Buttonholtz?
Yeah, Buttonholtz. Oh, that's a lot. That's leading. Okay, too much class for that.
Sorry,
one.
too much class. Yeah.
And of course, Adrian
That's the off-air
Griffin.
show.
Adrian Griffin gets chopped after 43 games, so he's home. And I just don't understand what Milwaukee's doing. They're trying to shake it up and keep their superstar happy. And by the way, we talk in football about, looking at, we didn't mention Taylor Swift in football, which was nice.
Why not?
But no, how they always flashed her. Well, I'm tired of it. And when Giannis gets a dunk, I'm tired of looking at his brother on the sidelines. You're only in the league because your brother's a superstar. Okay,
Right.
It's foolish. I'm tired of you
it's
being
like Patrick Mahomes'
I'm
brother.
tired of you being a cheerleader now because somebody else that actually could play in the NBA could be on a roster right now, but like you're taking up a spot to keep your brother happy. So this is all about Giannis, who I thought was the class act from day one. How he stayed in Milwaukee, wanted to win it there, and he did. But now I'm starting to wonder about his character just a little bit. But we'll see how the second half plays out. It'll be interesting.
And now let's talk about other teams. Golden State, how do you feel about them? Old.
Yeah, no, you said it. You listen, and you're not wrong, okay? But now you're starting to see a couple of the young pieces come through. I told you, Jonathan Kuminga, a guy that's been averaging like 20 points a game the last month. He's a guy that's stepped up now at that power forward position. He's getting more minutes now. And I'm looking at like the other night in a 140-137 win over Utah. They brought Klay Thompson off the bench for the first time since his rookie year. 35 points off the bench. That could be good because now you can, with all the tread on his tires, you bring him off the bench. He doesn't have to play as many minutes. You keep his minutes in the 20s, okay? And if he can do that off the bench, he can help that second unit. That's a weapon for them. So it's almost like it's not a trade, but the way they readjusted their rotations, that's a big move for them. And look out in the second half, Jess, for a rookie. Point guard, and I'm going to try to say it. These Polish names are a little bit difficult, but it's Brandon Podneski. Okay? He's the guy that's stepping in.
Okay.
He's the guy that's going to get more minutes. I wouldn't say with Curry being a point guard, they're basically playing 2 point guards now.
Did you see him throw that ball in
It's unbelievable. From the runway.
Yeah.
That's insane. It's insane what he does. He's averaging 28, by the way.
Okay.
But this kid out of Santa Clara, he's a rookie out of Santa Clara, 13 points, 8 assists, and 5 rebounds in his first start in Klay Thompson's spot there, and he's averaging almost 10 off the bench all year. So
Solid.
look out for him. He's a gutsy player. And listen, Golden State 27 and 26, 10th in the West. I'm not saying they're going to win an NBA title, but I still always feel like it's the Brady Mahomes thing. As long as you got Curry, you got a shot. Don't write them off yet. They still can make some noise. So look out for them in the second half. I like the way they revamped it a little. The only problem is just the West is loaded. They're in 10th right now. They got the Lakers in front of them and, of course, a bunch of other teams. So it's going to be tough to leapfrog all those teams just to get into the 8 spot. They may have to play in the little play-in tournament to get in.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
And then I don't feel as though, they'll just end up being exhausted. But they are fun to watch.
I know, you wrote them off at the beginning of the year, and I believe you were correct. I keep going back to them. I feel like there's something, and I used to get tired of watching them be good. And then when Curry got hurt and Thompson got hurt, I'm like, no, I want more of them.
Right.
I think the league is good when they're good.
Mm-hmm. No, it's true.
And before we put basketball to rest, did you hear the rumor that Golden State called the Lakers about LeBron?
Oh, really?
Before the deadline, and LeBron, snapped with no way, no shot.
He's an LA guy,
right? But they made the call. Now I don't know what the move would have been there. I guess Clay probably would have went to LA where his dad played, but the move never happened. They were trying to team LeBron up with Curry, so it didn't happen. But it was interesting just to hear that get bandied about. So, yeah,
Do you think
interesting.
LeBron will ever leave the Lakers? I don't. I think that's where he's just
No,
gonna
I think he's
end,
got his
'cause that's
brand there now.
Yeah.
That's where he belongs, and I think he'll finish his career out there. And I don't want to hear about. I'm glad his son's okay physically. I don't want to hear about Bronny James anymore.
to wait
He's
for
at
him.
USC. He's marginal at best. Okay, he wouldn't start in the Big East. Stop it now.
Oh,
okay?
jeez. Oh, yeah. Like, there's some negativity for you.
All right.
All right. Do you want to thank our sponsors, and then we'll do
I
quick
do.
hockey? Because, we're down to 15 minutes, man. I know.
Keeping score with Jess and Dean the Dream. Sponsored by
Generations Adult Day Health Center. Generations is a day facility in Smithfield that provides services to meet the needs of adults with disabilities and the elderly. Their staff provides a range of adult day health services, such as case management, nursing, healthcare, nutrition, and more. At Generations, you're taken care of with registered nurses, certified nursing assistants, and plenty of direct care support staff on the floors at all times. With nearly 30,000 square feet of space, the state-of-the-art facility includes an open dining room, spacious physical and occupational therapy suites, a fully equipped gym and exercise room, and a TV movie theater, just to name a few. To find out more, visit generationsri.com. That's generationsri.com. Prout Mechanical in Providence, a family-owned and operated business. They provide HVAC installations, replacements, and maintenance services. They also offer indoor quality services to make sure that your home remains healthy and safe. They have licensed and trained technicians to keep up with industry standards and technology. They're also an authorized Mitsubishi Electric Diamond Elite contractor, so they can provide the best heating and cooling solutions. So get in touch with them today. Visit ProutHVAC.com. That's ProutHVAC.com, or call them at 487-4343 for a free estimate. It's the hidden gem in the historic district of East Greenwich, the Oaks Tavern on Duke Street, a laid-back, welcoming atmosphere with some of the lowest drink prices in town. Described as a grade A dive bar, complete with free pool, a jukebox, air hockey, and a great place to meet after work. It's a place where the staff treats everyone like regulars, and regulars treat you like family. Visit the last hometown tavern in East Greenwich. Check out the Oaks Tavern, serving cold beer since 1896.
I think it's kind of foolish to make predictions like that. I think this is going to be a very competitive team. I think it's going to be a team that is going to take that's going to see its players take a meaningful step forward. And I think there's a really exciting young core of players that we are really excited about, and I think that fans are going to fall in love with.
No, I think not. I can't stand listening to this dude. Can you just say, I think our playoff chances are going to be pretty good? Can you, at least not quit on the season? You don't even believe in the team. Why are you going to have anybody buy tickets?
I wasn't sure if Cora was going to make it through 2023. He ain't making it through 2024. Let Breslin bring his own guy in. Cora deserves better than this. This team sucks. Okay, the only decent pieces they have, Jess, they're already talking about moving like a Jaron Durant in a trade, a kid I like.
Yeah.
Maybe they want to sell high there. The Red Sox keep saying they need a right-handed bat. Jorge Soler was out on the market. He gets 3 years, $42 million from the San Francisco Giants. 36 homers last year, MVP in 2021 with the Atlanta Braves. So the Red Sox balked on him. So they're not even looking to upgrade that roster right now. I don't know what they're doing. Spring training, obviously, tomorrow you've got pitchers and catchers are already there.
Yep.
Everybody's, all the rosters that get going on Monday officially is spring training. So it's fun to see baseball back.
Throwing curveballs.
Oh, I accept it. I accept it.
Maybe you could start pitching for the Red Sox.
I don't know what's in the tank right now, but we'll see. By the way, another correction I have to make. I should have known better that Breslow, a.k.a. Bloom Jr., made a move last week. I told you bringing in former Rookie of the Year Michael Fulmer in to a minor league deal. I told you if he's healthy, he could help that bullpen. I know he's had some injury issues. Of course, I find out he gets a 2-year minor league deal because they know he can't pitch in 2024. So this move is for 2025.
Great.
So, yeah. So
the
what
world could be blown up by then.
What have you done for me now? Absolutely nothing, because
Wow.
Fulmer can't pitch, but they think that he can help them the following season. Obviously, there's not much money involved there, but it's still another move. You get excited, and then you say, no, not going to happen. And one note, Red Sox bust from last year, Corey Kluber retired.
Oh.
Okay, so thank you for that 7.24 ERA last year in 2023.
Let's
Well, you
give
got a
him a
1-year, $10 million deal, and you gave us nothing.
Nothing. Zero.
But all kidding aside, he did win 2 Cy Youngs with the Cleveland Indians, had a nice career, just obviously not in Boston. So
Wow,
he did throw a no
I feel
hitter.
bad for you.
Threw a no hitter for the Yankees a couple of years ago too.
Yay!
Yeah,
Look
so
at us.
he was 10-10 for the Bronx Bombers. I knew he was on a banana peel then, and we got the worst of Corey Kluber. But congratulations on a great career. outside of 23.
We wish you the best.
So that's it. Baseball gets going. I'm excited about spring training, just being a baseball lover, knowing that we're close to seeing the ball get thrown around there. I love the game. It's just I love the smells of it. I love
Yeah,
all
we're
of
going
it.
to see how you feel about that after you watch a couple Red Sox games. You may want to be buying some other people's jerseys because I have a feeling this year we can just chalk that up to a big L.
That's a lot right there.
Hockey. Unless you have anything else.
No.
Okay. All right, so here's the thing. We should start with, it came out on Friday that Lucic, the case was dismissed. His wife did not want to go against him in court.
Right.
So I don't think he's going to be playing hockey anymore, but either way, at least we should follow up that the case was dismissed, so it wasn't like he was guilty or anything like that.
Right.
But at the same point, not a vibe we want on the Bruins.
Absolutely not, Jess. And of course, I told you got the 35-year-old Lucic now. I don't think there's any reason to even bring him. He's not going to get you. You're not moving the needle with Lucic at this point in his career.
You don't think because he's experienced that?
No,
Okay.
I think he's checked. He's been done for 2 years. It was nice to see him come back, but what is he giving you here? I think the Bruins can stay the course here, even though they have struggled coming out of the All-Star break, losing 4 out of their last 5, won 4-1 in their last 6 home games. So a little disappointed. I think Florida has finally caught them. It was Florida caught them for the top spot in the Eastern Conference with 74 points, I believe.
What's their thing? The Panthers?
Panthers.
They didn't do too well against them.
No, that was a bad matchup.
Yep.
Not making excuses, but we're still on that almost a year later.
I don't have a clip of this. I totally forgot. Brad Marchand, 1,000 games.
It's a great thing.
That's crazy.
They lost that
he
game.
looks the same,
I think
by the way.
he had 2 assists in that game or 2 points.
Right?
He was terrific in that game.
He must use oil of Olay or something.
1,000 games. He got drafted by the Bruins. Oh, wow, oil of Olay. I haven't heard that term in a long. They still have oil of Olay?
No. Everything's Murad now, but it's really expensive. But whatever Marchand's using, he looks so. They did the first picture, and then they did. Now he looks exactly the same. Well, all women want to age like Brad Marchand.
No, he's terrific. We love Marchand, number 63. And Jess, another thing. Obviously, we're talking about assists for Marchand in that game that he played in his 1,000 game. Connor McDavid of Edmonton had 6 assists in one game during the course of the week. He's got 59 assists on the year, 6 in one game. And speaking of the Connor theme here, Connor Bedard did come back from that broken jaw, got an assist the other night versus the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Must be so hungry.
From the Pittsburgh Penguins, he came back in that game, and versus obviously they lost to the Penguins, but Sidney Crosby got his 30th goal in that game. And that's 12 seasons of 30 or more goals. He's obviously going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer when it's all said and done.
Beast. All right, anything else in hockey? Because now we have 8 minutes. I know.
Moving on.
We're moving on to birthdays.
Quickly.
Yes, we got to go. All right, for Sunday, February 18th, who you got?
All right, I got to plow through it. Okay. Too much class. Lou Gorman, 1929. Probably don't remember him, but he was the general manager of Seattle Mariners and the Boston Red Sox around the Buckner era when they lost to the Mets in '86. But he did build that team up. There's some really great players that had a hand in drafting Clemens. But I say him, he was in the Red Sox Hall of Fame in 2002, and he was born in Providence, Rhode Island.
Ooh, nice local connection.
Lou Gorman. Andy Moog is 64, goalie for the Oilers, Bruins, and a couple of other teams. 3-time Stanley Cup champ, obviously not with the Bruins, it was with the Oilers, and he was on the Canadian Olympic team. So Andy Moog, 64. And one basketball player, Andrei Kirilenko, Russian basketball player, played 14 years in the NBA. He turned 43. He was the 6'9" power forward for mostly with the Utah Jazz, averaged almost 12 points a game for his career, and in 2005 led the NBA in blocks. And what I remember about him is his nickname. He wore the number 47, so his nickname, because he was a high flyer, was AK-47.
Oh, very nice.
So Andrei Kirilenko was 43. Over to the entertainment side real quick. We've got Dr. Dre is 59, rapper and musician. His real name, Andre Romel Young. I think of him, I think of The Chronic, 1992, his first album.
That would move, classic.
How about a legend here? John Travolta is 70.
70?
70.
He looks great.
Now, everybody, I think of Grease. I think of Saturday Night Fever. You know,
look who's talking.
Look
who's talking 1 and 2.
All right.
But Kirstie
That's when
Alley
he was
looked
kind of
great.
coming back after he had a little bit of a lull there.
Yeah.
Look Who's Talking got him kind of back on the map again.
He's in everything.
But everybody forgets
Pulp
when I was
Fiction.
growing up, even before my time, how about Welcome Back, Kotter? He was Vinny Barbarino from 75 to 79. What? Where? What? Anyway.
Steve's like,
John
what?
Travolta is 70, a legend. Matt Dillon is 60. Okay, The Flamingo Kid, 1984, and I love You, Me, and Dupree, 2006.
That was funny.
And his brother Kevin Dillon was on Entourage, one of my favorite shows. And finally, Molly Ringwald is 56.
Oh, she's a classic.
The Breakfast Club, my
16 Candles.
16 Candles and The Breakfast Club, one of my favorite movies. Those are my birthdays for February 18th.
Can I add a birthday even though it was
Absolutely,
yesterday?
Yes.
The GOAT, the one, the only, Michael Jordan turned 61 yesterday. Bless you, Steve.
Bless you, Steve. Really?
Yes. He's
MJ?
February
I
17th.
didn't
Michael
catch that.
Jordan, yes.
61. What is
61?
61?
61 yesterday. So, I mean, obviously, he's the GOAT. He's our fave. All right, we got 5 minutes left.
Yeah.
So let's talk some PC.
Yep.
Because I actually have a clip.
Each team with one timeout left. It's a three-point game. Possession hour belongs to Providence.
Nobody wants to foul in this situation. Put your head down and go straight to the rim.
So you think a two is still there?
Yes, absolutely.
Jenkins trying to get control. Jenkins for three. Too strong. Ejiofor with the rebound. Conway steps back. Game clock to 7. Dingle has it partially blocked. It's loose. It's picked up by Providence. That'll be the game.
I got to tell you, the best venue for the fans, they can't lose in the amp. The amp gets it done.
It matters.
It does matter. They are fired up, and if Oduro and Carter don't score, I don't know if anyone else will shoot.
No, you made a good point when you text that to me the other night, but those are your guys. Those are the guys that can get the shots. And by the way, give St. John's a ton of credit in that game defensively. Devin Carter only took 7 shots. You talk about like shooting. He didn't get they were clamped on him.
Yeah.
So that was Patino who came back to Providence, got a nice ovation. That was his goal, was to stop Carter.
Terrible hair dye.
Make other guys do their job. And of course, Josh Oduro, 28 points, 26 in the second half when they really needed it. And he outplayed Joel Soriano, who's a total punk for St. John's, who comes up short in big games all the time. He had 3 fouls within 4 minutes and wanted to fight Jaden Pierre because he thought it was a hard foul. Pierre's 6'1", Soriano's 6'11". And by the way, he's the kid last year who scored a basket and taunted Ed Cooley on the way by after he scored the hoop and got teed up.
He did?
Now in hindsight, I kind of like that because now where Cooley is, all right, well, we'll let that one go. But the Friars obviously get a well-needed win. They're 16th of the season, beating the St. John Red Storm, who went on a 23-5 run in the first half. Looked like they were going to run away with that one, but Providence came through in the second half.
They're tough.
Oduro was terrific in that game, and they really needed it.
Congratulations to him, by the way. Just had a baby.
Absolutely. And, of course, you have to mention Devin Carter. He struggled, to get his shot off, but he still finished with 14 points and 11 rebounds.
I get nervous with his free throws.
There's a guy who did other things in the game, obviously defensively.
Yep.
And just a well-needed win for the Friars. I love what Kim English is doing. Real quick, I just want to say, stop throwing the ball to the corner on an inbounds pass. Nothing good comes of it when you throw the ball to the corner when you know you're going to get doubled. And especially when the guy who inbounds the ball shoots like 50% from the stripe and they're throwing it back to that guy. So figure your inbound passes out, okay?
We need to work on that a little
Because one
bit.
ball went off Oduro and it looked like they replayed it. And they didn't have, that could have been a game changer right there.
Definitely.
So take the win. The Friars are alive for a postseason berth.
They make me feel alive because I feel like I'm having a heart attack every time I watch a game.
It's a lot. It's a
all right,
lot.
we got 3 minutes left. Obviously, PC news. That was the latest. Caitlin Clark, do you want to talk about her? Because she is not human.
I mean, she plays for number 4 Iowa, and of course, she needed 8 points the other night to become the all-time leading scorer in Division I basketball.
And how did she do?
It took her 2 minutes. All right, she hit a 3, a layup, and then comes down and hits a 3 from the Iowa logo. Okay, she needed 8. She scored 49.
Yeah.
Her career high. She now has 3,569 points. She is amazing in a 106-89 win over Michigan. She's something else. Kelsey Plum, who was the all-time leading scorer before that, said, "Hey, records are made to be broken. This girl's special. I want to hear I want to know where she's playing all the time."
Yeah. No, I mean, they're
she's
selling
filling
out
arenas and
she doesn't disappoint.
Because of COVID, she could grab another year if she wants it.
What do you think she's going to do?
I think she'll go to the WNBA and be the number 1 pick next year.
Yeah,
she's got nothing left to prove.
I don't think there's any other names. Like, just have Caitlin Clark go and then
I don't
be
think
like,
it's fair
turn
that
it
she
off.
can have another year. She's amazing.
I know.
She's ripped, too.
And the thing is like, sometimes I think, and we got to wrap it up quick, is like you said, she takes it from half court. Like, was time running out on the clock, or she just was just like, I'm open, so I'm just going to shoot it?
She even said after, and she wasn't being cocky. She's like, yeah, I figured logo for the record. She's like, why not? Of course it's going to be from the logo. And it literally, her foot was like on the... it's on the Hawkeye. It's just crazy.
What do we got for high school stuff?
Yeah, so obviously high school, Jess, you got the playoffs starting in the next week. Watch out for Classical. Classical and Lincoln haven't lost all season long. There's 1 week left in the season. The playoffs start in a few days. So look out for those teams. And I was talking a couple of weeks ago about Dimitri Iafredi, who's been killing it down at Wheaton.
Yeah.
Okay, and he's got his team into the playoffs. He had 21 the other night. He's still getting it done. The freshman point guard. But look out for Nick Scandura from Barrington. He's committed to go play with Dimitri at Wheaton next year.
Oh, that'd be fun.
But look out for Barrington in the playoffs between Scandura and Matt Raffa. Look out for Barrington, and Scandura is 6'6", so he's got a little bit of size. They're a team I'm looking at in the playoffs. Obviously, we follow Johnston, Cranston West.
Yep.
Those teams. Everybody's got a shot this year. Hendricken and LaSalle are a little bit down this year,
Oh,
so
that's
it's
a shock.
going to be a fun playoff this year. And of course, Lincoln. We've talked about them before. They're very, very good.
Yes, solid. I've seen them. They've been highlighted on Channel 10, I think.
Yeah.
NBC.
Yeah.
All right, so that's Keeping Score with Jess and Dean the Dream. Whew, another show. I don't know. We're going to have no football next week, I don't think. So I don't know what we're going to do.
Way.
I know we will. We'll have our movie reviews or something like that to kick off the show.
No, Bronx Tale was a big hit.
Success. And Steve, you're going to ask him if you have to give the DVD
No,
back,
he
right?
can keep it.
Oh,
No,
look
let him
at
keep it for a souvenir.
Wow, not Blu-ray.
Just don't cross me, because you know what? You can put him in the bathroom. I can make some moves here. Nobody cares.
We're on YouTube. We're on Instagram. Keeping Score with Jess and Dean. We'll talk to you guys next week at 8 a.m.
See ya.
Bye.